Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Sunday night showdown with the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing. Tonight, the NEXXTCAR Truck Series heads to the newest super speedway on the NASCAR circuit, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Last week in North Wilkesboro, Jonathan Duncan made it 3 straight wins for him here in Season 4 and has entered his name in the hat to being maybe the favorite to win the Truck Series Championship this season. But before then, we still have a long way to go here in this season. This is the 8th race of the season, and at the checkered flag tonight, we will officially be halfway through this season. Still a lot of racing left to be had, and a lot of battles left to be won. 3 races remain until the playoffs. Who will be in and who will be out? Only time will tell. And it all starts right here, right now. This is the NEXXTCAR Racing League, and this is Atlanta Motor Speedway.
It has to happen. Gotta prove myself. It has to happen like this, like this. You're going up against the greatest, and it's gonna get messy. If you wanna try to test me, you're going up against the greatest. Take a swing, you're gonna miss me. Yeah, it's going down in history. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing for tonight's race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is NASCAR's newest super speedway. It's a mini Daytona and Talladega. It's as if Daytona and Talladega had a baby. And well, this is the result. It's fast, it's slick, it's narrow, and we're in for a good one here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight marks the halfway point of the season. This is race number 8 of 16. So when that checkered flag waves tonight, well, that's also the checkered flag that marks the end of the first half of this season. And what a first half to the season we have had. We started out this season with 5 different winners in the Truck Series. And then Jonathan Duncan showed up to the party, and he won the 5th, 6th, and 7th race of the season, coming into tonight's race here at Atlanta, winning 3 of the last races. Can he continue his run here tonight? He has definitely entered his name in the hat of championship favorites. There is no doubt about it. He has won on all 3 different kinds of tracks this season so far. He won at the Road Course of Road America. He won last week at North Wilkesboro. Can he get it done here at the Super Speedway of Atlanta? Or will somebody else finally make a stand and put an end to the Duncan reign here of Season 4 Truck Series in the NEXXTCAR Racing League? It has been one heck of a half of the season, no doubt about it, and tonight is going to be a great way to cap off that first half. But the bigger story, 3 races remaining in the regular season to make the Season 4 playoffs, and these drivers know what's at stake. Several of these drivers know tonight may be their chance and maybe might be their last chance to make the playoffs. These drivers, those that know what's at stake, they're going to be aggressive tonight. It's Super Speedway Racing, baby. That's what Super Speedway Racing's all about. The aggressiveness, the pushes, the beating and banging, the blocks. It's going to be even greater tonight because, like I said, several of these guys coming into tonight's race thinking this might be their one chance and their last chance of making the Season 4 playoffs. Next week, we go short track racing at Iowa, and then in week 10, we go racing at Michigan International Speedway. Another wild card here to end out the regular season. We're going to pull up your schedule here in a minute, but before we do that, let's pull up your playoff standings here for your Truck Series heading into tonight's race. Duncan, 3 wins at this point. Dunford, Bolander, Pendell, Tulloch have all also added their name into the winners list. Then you've got the rest of the field. Trudeau plus 75 above that cutoff line. Don Francisco plus 70. Then a big gap back to Tucker, Chandler, Thomas. You can throw a blanket over those guys. Just 6 points separate them. Then you got Cole Larson. Then his father, J.D. Larson, right behind him. So that entire row, minus Don Francisco, you can throw an absolute blanket over 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then not too far behind them is Babcock. And then Bloodworth. Then you got Henning and Abar. Big battle between two teammates here at that cutoff line. Alberto Abar and Steve Bocock. Both 1 point separate them from that cutoff line. Abar currently holds that position +1, Bocock -1, and then Cedric Ingram has added his name to the playoff list, threatening -15 after that spectacular win at Charlotte. We saw Jonathan Duncan get his second win of the season at Charlotte, but Cedric Ingram had the run of his season at Charlotte, finishing in second, about 2 laps short from getting that win. He was definitely running down Duncan. He had checkered flag in his eyes, but Duncan was able to prevail in what turned into a huge fuel strategy race. But these drivers, several of those guys, especially at that cutoff line, Bocock, you're going to have to be watching out for Steve all night long. He loves these super speedways. He loves super speedway racing. He knows what's at stake. Coming into tonight's race, 1 point below that cutoff line. That's all the motivation Steve Bocock in that number 12 Chevy Silverado is gonna need tonight. Now on the flip side of that, his teammate Alberto Abar, we mentioned it, +1. Well, he knows how good Steve is at these super speedways. Well, guess what? Alberto is no stranger to super speedway greatness either. So he's going to have his hands full tonight to keep Steve behind him. And Abar is going to be looking to head to victory lane himself. And then right above him, let's talk about 2 other guys real quick. Henning. What a season Stephen Henning himself is having at this point of the season. Remember, at Road America, he was one of those drivers that we were talking about lap after lap after lap. Obviously, nobody had anything for Jonathan Duncan. He went on to a 35-second gap in his victory run, but Henning found himself finishing in a 4th position, a strong run for him. Same with Bloodworth. Dustin Bloodworth has had a very strong running to this season so far. And at Babcock, +34 points above that cutoff line, but a fantastic run again at Charlotte. I mean, think about it. He won the Cup Series race at Charlotte. He very well could have easily swept that race or that weekend at Charlotte had he have not made a couple mistakes on pit lane. So major mistakes by Babcock now puts himself +34 points above that cutoff line. Absolutely nobody is safe. And folks, there are several names underneath Ingram who are looking to win to get their name in yellow in the playoffs. So nobody is safe unless your name is yellow. Just because you're in right now does not mean at the end of Michigan you're heading to the playoffs. It's racing, baby, and anything can happen. Right now, qualifying is going on here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. These drivers are going to have their absolute hands full tonight around this 1.5-mile track. It's Atlanta, baby. It's hot. It's slick. These drivers are going to be going fast. Things are going to be happening before their brain can process it, and that is what is so special about Atlanta. The wrecks are great. The anger, the tempers flare, and we are going to be in for a good one tonight. Let's go ahead and let's bring up your schedule here for Season 4 of the NEXXTCAR Racing League. You can see it right there. Week number 8, we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The next week, I mentioned it, short track racing at Iowa, and at Michigan International Speedway in Week 10 to close out the regular season. Well, folks, if you make the playoffs, it is not easy for you. Week 11, 12, and 13 make up the round number 1, Indianapolis Speedway, Darlington, and Kansas. And if you survive all 3 of those tracks and you're good enough to make it on to round number 2, well, just like round number 1, it don't get any easier. Auto Club Speedway in Dover, and then week 16 to end the season down at Homestead, Miami for 120 laps, and that is where you will crown your Season 4 Truck Series champion. What a season it has been. What a season we still got ahead of ourselves because, folks, it's in 3 weeks we go playoff racing for the NEXXTCAR Truck Series. It is going to be fantastic. It is going to be great, but let's get your race information up for tonight's race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for week number 8 at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Mini Super Speedway 165 presented by HVAC Designs and W Energy. If you don't know what HVAC Designs is, where have you been for the last 3 seasons? Have you seen these beautiful trucks and next-gen cup cars that have been on the track week after week? Well, Matthew Erickson, our beloved, was the race controller for the first 3 seasons. This season, he has stepped out. He's back in the truck. He is the founder and creator of HVAC Designs, who paint so many of these beautiful schemes you're going to see tonight and then tomorrow night in the next-gen cup cars when they go racing at Talladega. And then W Energy back on the sponsorship list as well. 110 laps tonight, 165 miles, and you guys can see it right there. Your stage break is at lap 50 for this 1.5 mile track. Now, folks, the number I want to bring to your attention is that track temperature. While the air temperature, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, 65% humidity, partly cloudy skies. That is the huge part. Partly cloudy skies and 3-mile-an-hour winds. But look at that track temperature, folks. 130 degrees Fahrenheit. This track is hot. This track is slick. And not only are these drivers going to have their hands full because, well, it's super speedway racing, they're going to have their hands full because this track is slick. And when you're going 180, 190 mile an hour, well, folks, those tires, they lose grip, and these drivers are in for a wild one tonight. But not only are the drivers, we're in for a good one tonight as well, folks, and I cannot wait for these drivers to hit the track tonight. This track is bad fast. This track is great. The last time we were here at Atlanta, we witnessed one of the closest finishes in NEXXTCAR history. Are we in for another good finish here tonight? Well, only time will tell. Let's go ahead and let's check out your starting grid for tonight's race, folks. Qualifying is over. Practice is over. These drivers have had their time to put it on the line. Well, now it's time to show up, and let's get your grid up for tonight's race. We talked about him, folks, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Cedric Ingram had the run of his season, looking to add to that tonight. Cedric Ingram coming into tonight's race below that cutoff line. He's going to grab his first pole of the season. David Chandler in second, starting on the outside row number 1. Matt Tucker and David Smith making up row number 2 with Robert Babcock and Andrew Bolander in the third row. Peyton Tillock and Cole Larson in row number 4 with Christopher Thomas and J.D. Larson making up row number 5. We mentioned his name. He's one of the best in NEXXTCAR when it comes to super speedway racing. Steve Bocock in 11th with his teammate battling for that last playoff spot at this point, Alberto Abar in 12th. So that is going to be a battle we watch all night long. Christopher Pendell, 13th, with Stephen Henning in 14th. Row number 8 is going to go to the way of Dustin Bloodworth and Jonathan Duncan. Matthew Erickson and Nicholas Trudeau are going to make up row number 9, with row number 10 going to Nicholas Don Francisco and Vernon Broadbeck making his first start here in the Truck Series. Austin Walton also making his first start in 21st. Then Jimmy Emos is going to be moved up to the 22nd position. You see it at the bottom, folks. 110 laps, 165 miles. The stage break on lap 50. What could possibly go wrong tonight? We're in for a good one tonight, folks. Absolutely no doubt about it. The pace truck waiting on the field to grid, and then we will get this race underway. And as soon as we do, there it is, folks. What do you say we cue up your pole sitter, Cedric Ingram, and see what it's going to take tonight?
There.
Cedric Ingram, it's Ronnie in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
All right, brother.
below the red to let the field pass. I'm going to be all 4 tires below it. Am I going to get penalized?
All right, brother. 2 weeks ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you had the run of your season. What's it going to take to back that up tonight? You got the pull. Well, now it's all on you.
Well, first off, you got to survive. So that's the main thing I'm trying to do.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, best of luck to you and the rest of the field tonight. Let's have a good one, boys.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks. The field coming through turns 3 and 4 for the first time tonight behind your Chevy Silverado pace truck. The field coming out of turn number 4. The pace truck is going to be looking to hit that hard left onto pit road. The control of the field in the flagman's hand. And we are going to be underway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway Super Speedway style. Green flag in the air. Up through the gears they go, side by side, bumper to bumper, down into turn number 1. Cedric Ingram looking to clear that outside line, and he will. Heading down out of turn number 2. Matt Tucker pushing that Chevy Silverado to the front. Tucker's going to clear the outside line as well. He's going to move up in front of, he's going to decide to stay down. I thought he's going to go up in front of David Chandler. Now maybe thinking of it, Chandler's now going to drop in behind Robert Babcock. Single file for the first front guys. Lap 1 complete. Side by side for 5th. Andrew Bolander in that Hershey's number 8 Chevy Silverado trying to work his way. As you can see, Jimmy Emos coming off of pit road, starting down on pit road. He's going down there, and the field's going to make their way past. The majority of this field, single file. But out front, Cedric Ingram continues to show the way here at Atlanta. Paint to luck down on the apron as well. Not exactly sure what happened to the 17. Already 4 laps down in that number 17 Chevy Silverado. So not the start that Paint to luck wanted, but definitely glad he's got that win. It does not need to rely on points here tonight. David Smith working that outside line. On the outside of David Chandler in the 1. Now, Matt Tucker's going to jump to the outside. He's going to have help from Babcock. Babcock's going to push Tucker to the front. Here comes Babcock around the outside of Ingram, trying to bring that 48 and the 8 with them, with Pendell in the 5th truck on that outside line. Cedric Ingram, your pole sitter, starting to fall back a little bit. And that number 19 back to 3rd now with the big push from David Chandler. Now trying to work his way back up to the inside of Tucker. They're going to be side by side out of 4. But Tucker is going to lead the field back to the line this time with a huge shot from the 34. Absolute huge shot from Robert Babcock in the 34. Sends Matt Tucker to 25 way out front. Is he way too far out front? Big damage to the back of the 25. You can see just where that 34 made huge contact with them. Now, the 25 is going to stack up that outside line. He got way too far out in front of the field, and that's going to stack everything up behind him. Cedric Ingram's going to take back the lead here on that inside line. 5 laps completed. Many more to go here in this one. Remember, your stage break coming on lap 50 tonight. Christopher Thomas working his way up towards the front at number 5. Up to 3rd on the inside of Matt Tucker in the 25. Tucker still battling with that big damage to the back of that Chevy. Trying to hope that the 34 Babcock can help him get back up to the front. Now, they're going to be side by side for 2nd through 1 and 2. Chandler and Tucker side by side. Tucker looking for the big push down the backstretch. Cedric Ingram holding his own up front. Big push from the 1 to David Chandler. That's going to keep him out front. They're going to clear that outside line. Where does Chandler go? He's going to stay loyal to the 19. You know Christopher Thomas is going to stay loyal to that 1. best friends, David Chandler and Christopher Thomas. You know Christopher Thomas here this early in the race is going to be dedicated and loyal to that number 1. Later on in the race, maybe not so much. But right now, single file out back, but the first 5 trucks on that outside line are 2 by 2, and here comes Tucker right back at the front. The 88 of Jonathan Duncan, we've mentioned him several times already. 3 races in a row. 3 wide out front. Cedric Ingram stuck in no man's land. 3 wide here in Atlanta. Something I did not know if we were going to see, but these drivers early in this one testing it out here in Atlanta. Chandler, you're not clear. He's going to move up, and that's going to take out your pole sitter and several others in this one. And Henning's going to pile in late. Major implications here on lap number 9 for your pole sitter, Cedric Ingram in the 19. David Chandler in the 1 just was not quite clear to make that move. It was pretty early to test the waters of 3 wide. Let's back it up and see just how exactly did Cedric Ingram get put in the middle of a 3 wide situation. He's holding it down low, goes up to block the 25, leaves the bottom open, and leaves the outside open, and that's how he gets stuck in the middle. That's how he gets stuck in the middle. And then it's all on from there, folks. Oh, a bad block by Thomas. Not really a bad block. Not going to say that was a bad block at all. It was just a block that did not go very well. Right there, just not centered. Shoots the 1 to the outside. Man. Let's jump inside the cockpit of that number 5. Right there. Just not centered on the back bumper of that Toyota. Man, you hate to see it, especially this early. Major implications for your pole sitter early on in this one. Well, folks, that is just a product of super speedway racing right there. 9 laps in when the caution came out, resulting in your first caution of the night. But just a product of super speedway racing, the pushes, the bump draft. Well, if you're not centered on that bumper in front of you, that results in exactly what you just saw. You know, nothing that, excuse me. You know, nothing that David Chandler did wrong there. You know, really nothing that, I mean, yeah, you can say Christopher Thomas, you know, shouldn't have pushed when he did, which, yeah, that's a pretty good argument, but, I mean, that's just literally a product of super speedway racing. You know, nothing the 1 did wrong. Yeah, the 5 maybe with a little aggressive of a push there on lap number 9, but like I said, nothing that you really can say either driver really, truly did wrong. But how about that second row, folks? The Larsons are going to be making up row number 2. Cole Larson on the inside. J.D. Larson on the outside. What about J.D. Larson? The last time we were here at Atlanta, he almost came away with his first win in NEXXTCAR. Just a couple feet short, got spun entering into the tri-oval, just ever so close in a 3 wide situation to getting his first win ever in NEXXTCAR. So you cannot sleep on that 18 at either. But folks, that pace truck hooking that hard left down onto pit lane, and we are getting ready to go back racing this time.
Green, green, green.
Green flag's going to be back out here in Atlanta. David Chandler with a big launch, immediately dropping down to that inside line in front of Christopher Thomas. That's interesting that he's going to jump down there immediately in front of Christopher Thomas after that big push that he just got, wasting no time to get back down there in front of the 5. Now where does Larson go? Big run down the backstretch. Goes to the outside of Cole Larson. He's going to have absolutely no help. Don Francisco does not go with him. Now, J.D. Larson stuck outside all by himself, not going to get a hole to drop back down into, or will he? He does not. Don Francisco gets to his inside. Here comes Matthew Erickson in the 28. What does Erickson do? Those two. Erickson, the team owner for that 18. Does he give Larson a hole? He does not. Here comes Austin Walton to the aid. Austin Walton to the aid of that 18, pushing him down the backstretch. And then right behind them, the 12 is Steve Bocock running a brand new paint scheme as well. And that number 12 Navy, yellow and blue Chevy. But out front, David Chandler is going to lead this one at lap 15. But that outside line gaining some big momentum here. Cole Larson jumps up there. Don Francisco behind him. Larson is going to be challenging for the lead out of 2 and down the backstretch. Drag race down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. Dead even. Larson getting a big push from Don Francisco in that number 24. Don Francisco all over the back bumper of the 20. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will. Cole Larson leads his first lap of the night. Larson's going to clear that inside line. Where does he go? He decides to stay up top. David Chandler battling right back underneath them here down the backstretch. Big pushes from the 5. You can see both trucks wobbling. Both the 1 and 20 drift up. That's going to allow the 1 of David Chandler to get full momentum through 3 and 4. Larson getting the big momentum on that outside push from Don Francisco. Not going to be enough. Chandler's going to lead him back to the line. Here comes the rest of the field. Several of these guys dropping back. Matt Tucker, Dustin Bloodworth, Cedric Ingram. A couple of these guys dropping back, getting out of the side-by-side action. But out front, Cole Larson battling right back to the outside. J.D. Larson up into the wall. Up in the wall, out of turn number 4. He's going to keep it going. Everyone's going to avoid him. Great job by everybody side by side to avoid him. But back out front, they're dead even through 1 and 2. Absolute drag race at 170 mile an hour, folks, down the backstretch of Atlanta Motor Speedway into the 35-degree banking here at the Speedway. Chandler holding strong, but here comes Larson with the outside momentum. It's going to be Larson at the line. A great shot of 22 NEXXTCAR trucks making their way around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Chandler clears that outside line. Now Larson's coming right back at him. What do you say we jump inside the cockpit of that number 28 of Matthew Erickson? 170, 180 mile an hour down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. This is exactly what the driver sees. The third truck on that outside line pushing Don Francisco. Who's pushing? Cole Larson. Here they are at the line. Let's just sit back and watch them complete a lap here at Atlanta. It is unbelievable. Oh, Christopher Thomas is going to push up a little bit. Cole Larson to the lead. Cole Larson able to clear that inside line, drops down immediately in front of David Chandler. Now Chandler pushing the 20. That inside line getting real squirrely. Now that outside line is starting to fall apart a little bit. Big gap between Erickson and Don Francisco. The 3 starting to try to work his way back up. That's Austin Walton making his debut here in the Truck Series. Christopher Pendell in that number 94. He's trying to work his way back up there on that outside line. Nicholas Trudeau running that pink Bass Pro Shop Chevy Silverado. 4th truck on that inside line trying to work his way back up. Remember, lap 50 is your stage break. Just short of the halfway point to that stage break, and these drivers are racing like it's the last lap of the race. Now, Chandler leads that outside line. Christopher Thomas staying dedicated to that inside line, doesn't really have a choice. Now, Chandler leading the charge around the high line with Don Francisco pushing. Whoa, Chandler's going to slide up. Don Francisco puts his nose underneath the 3 wide into the travel. Don Francisco lifts and thinks better of it. Lifts to see another lap, but you can see what that does to that outside line. Christopher Thomas is going to take advantage. He's going to slide up in front of the 1. Christopher Thomas loose out of turn 2. Larson with the block. That's going to get him turned into the wall. 3 wide into turn number 3. That's not going to work. It is going to work. They all save it. Unbelievable save here on lap 25. Unbelievable job by everybody involved. Unbelievable. I cannot believe they saved it. That might just be the save of the season at 180 mile an hour, folks. I told you in the pre-race these drivers were going to have their hands full, and man, if I didn't know what I was talking about. Right now, your biggest mover of the race is that guy leading the field right now in that number 4, Vernon Broadbeck, in his first race in the Truck Series in that number 4, plus 19 positions. The next biggest mover, well, the guy pushing him, just about to turn him, Nicholas Trudeau to the lead. Oh, Christopher Thomas is going to go around. They're not going to save it this time. Christopher Thomas, Don Francisco, Cole Larson, Matt Tucker coming in late. Caution is out for the second time tonight. Not going to save it this time is Christopher Thomas. Let's back it up and see what exactly happened to bring out your second caution of the night. Just a big block by the 24 at Don Francisco. Right there. Big, oh man, big bump. Lifted the rear tires of the 5 off the ground. Watch the rear tires of the 5 right there. Lifts the whole rear of that Chevy off the ground. And right around, he goes down into Steve Bocock, who's able to keep it going straight. But right around he goes. The 24 Don Francisco getting into it as well. Man, a lot of strong trucks damaged early on in this one as well. Larson around. Let's back it up and see what exactly... what happened to Larson to get him involved in this one? He checks up. Chandler does not. Man, you hate to see it. So Cedric Ingram involved in this one as well. Getting ran over from behind. Checking up, checking up, checking up. And here comes J.D. Larson, just not checking up, and runs right into the back of him. Well, hopefully that 19 does not have a whole lot of damage. Obviously a very strong truck in that number 19. Grabbed his first pole of the season, 2 cautions, and he's involved in both. But that 19's down and away out of the pit box. But that number 12 is Steve Bocock, is going to assume the lead here in this one. The lights are off on that Chevy Silverado pace truck, and 2 teammates are going to be making up the front row here on this restart. And coincidentally enough, they're both right now battling for that last position to make the playoffs as it stands right now. Abar holding on to that 16th and final position by 1 point, with Steve Bocock 1 point below that cutoff line. Well, Steve Bocock under this caution is going to be credited with leading a lap. So right now they are both tied in the season standings. Just 3 races remain, including this one, and these drivers know it. Like I've said several times, a lot of these drivers today are coming into this one tonight with that mentality of this might just be my best chance of getting to victory lane this season and locking myself into the Season 4 Truck Series playoffs. But these guys still got a long way to go in this one. The pace truck hooking that hard left down on the pit road. The control of the field in the 12's hands. And we are back racing here at Atlanta. And Steve Bocock with a great launch here on that inside line. Back racing here on lap 31. Abar's going to drop down, not clear. He's going to force his way in front of Pendell. Pendell lifts. Now Bloodworth on that high line. 3 American Defender Racing teammates. 1, 2, and 3. Does Bloodworth drop down to help? He's going to drop down late all over the back bumper to 13 of Abar. Now he's going to push up the track. Here comes Jonathan Duncan, your 3-time winner this season, winning 3 of the 3 last races. Bocock's going to lead him back to the line that time. Now here comes Matt Tucker in that 25 trying to work his way back up. He's got the 34 Robert Babcock all over his back bumper heading through 1 and 2. He's going to push Jonathan Duncan out to the lead here out of turn number 2. Duncan's going to clear the field down the backstretch. What does he do with it? He stays up high. He's going to stay up in front of Tucker. Steve, not a whole lot of help right now, but here comes Abar right back out. Duncan's going to lead his first lap of the night. Matt Tucker, maybe one of the most aggressive pushers in NEXXTCAR. Pushes Jonathan Duncan clear the field. He's going to clear him himself. They're going to drop down. No, they're not. They're going to stay up high. Just not able to keep in the straight line. 25 all over the place. Steve Bocock in the 12 pushing right back on that inside line. He's side by side for second. Alberto Abar leaving a little bit of a gap between himself and Steve Bocock. Now, the big push down the backstretch for both. You can see the 25 wiggling in the left-hand side. Now looking to the outside. That's going to push the 88 of Duncan up. That's going to help the 12 of Bocock. Bocock back to the lead out of turn number 4, but here comes the 88 battling back. Dead even at the line. That's going to go to Duncan. Oh, Matthew Erickson out back. He's going to go around. Saves it into 28. Already 35 laps into this one and huge saves on multiple drivers. That 28 was all but wrecked on that one. Now here comes the 12 with the 88 fighting back on that high line. That outside line definitely gets the big momentum run. As you can see, Duncan back to the lead here to complete lap 35. That outside line gets the big run. Duncan, I thought was going to drop down in front of Steve, but he was not clear. car breakaway out front in the first pack. Austin Walton in 15th, the first truck in that second pack, a second and a half behind your leaders. Now the leaders starting to fan out. Steve Bocark's going to push up a little bit. They're all going to keep going straight. Oh, Tuck barely cleared to 25. He drops down in front of Steve Bocark. That's not going to make the 12 happy. He is shoving that 25 down the backstretch. You can see just how squirrely that 25 was. And around's going to go the 88 in front of the field. Saves it. What a save by Duncan. Oh, they're going to wreck behind him. They're all going to keep it rolling. We stay green. Oh, the 94 Pendel through the grass. Pendel's going to keep it going straight, or is he? Yes, he will. Tucker stuck in the middle. 3 wide heading into turn number 3. It almost worked the last time. Will it work this time? Trudeau stuck on the outside all by himself. Trudeau falling back with no help on that outside line. Still 3 wide through the tri-oval. Here comes Tulloch in the 17. Robert Babcock in the 34, looking for his first win of the season in the Truck Series. Remember, he got his Cup Series win at Charlotte 2 weeks ago. Looking to back that up with another strong performance tonight. He could have swept the weekend at Charlotte had he not made mistakes on pit road. Looking to rebound and put that race behind him and head to victory lane for the first time this season and lock himself into the Season 4 playoffs. But he has got 22 other drivers out here tonight that are ready to battle him for it. That outside line just a little less organized than that inside line. You can see just how squirrely that outside is, specifically that 25. And that's what's kind of hurting that outside line a little bit. But a big gap between the 12 and the 13 and the 51, all the way back to the 3 on that bottom. And that's going to allow that outside line to get a little more momentum here through the tri-oval. But here comes Alberto Abar to give the shot to the 12. 10 laps to go to your stage break, folks. 10 laps to go. Remember, your top 10 get stage points. The 11th on back does not. Robert Babcock looking to clear that inside line. Not going to be able to do so this time by. Matt Tucker in that 25 trying to pinch the 13 of Alberto Abar. Let's jump inside the gyro cam of that 25, heading down the backstretch, down into turn number 3. And you can see just how aggressive this 33-degree banking is. And that is what has turned Atlanta Motor Speedway into a super speedway. These drivers able to hold it full throttle all the way around this track if they do decide to. Babcock has dropped to that. Nope, he's back up to that outside line. Bocock and Babcock battling for the lead here. Coming to 6 laps to go. I'm sorry, 7 laps to go this time in the stage. How patient does the rest of the field behind them get? And this main pack has gotten a little bigger here. 16 trucks now make up the front pack. 17, Cedric Ingram just barely holding on to it. Oh, we got smoke. Christopher Thomas. No, Austin Walden, the 3 is around. Saves it. We don't have a caution, but that is going to strand the field out a little bit here. Not exactly sure what happened there, but that is going to change the way this field looks. Now, Bolander to the lead in the 8. Getting a big push from the 25. Christopher Thomas just about knocking the wall down heading into 3. 5 laps to go here in stage. Robert Babcock battling right back on that inside line. That is how quick things can change in super speedway racing, folks, especially at a narrow track like this. Someone makes a mistake, you have nowhere to go to try to avoid it like you do at Daytona or Talladega. You've got those big shoulders, those big aprons to go onto. Well, here at Atlanta, you do not have that luxury. And when someone messes up in front of you like you saw there with Austin Walton and a couple of the other guys involved, well, now you've got Peyton Tulloch. He was battling for a stage point. Now, 5.5 seconds behind the pack, back in 14th. Big pushes continue from the 25 to the back of the 8. 3 to go here in the stage. Bolander clears the inside line. But now, Robert Babcock coming right back with a strong push from the 12 of Bocock. Dead even attitude, big drag race down the backstretch. Vernon Broadbeck just laying back there, buying his time in that Mike's Hard Lemonade. Now, Babcock's going to push up a little bit. Had to get out of the gas. That's going to allow that outside line to clear him. The 8 and the 25 clear that inside line. David Chandler not quite able to. They drop down in front of Babcock. Now, here comes Chandler powering to the outside. You see Alberto Abar abandoning that inside line, jumps immediately to the outside line where the full momentum was. Now, here comes the outside line, battling right back. That inside line pushes up. Chandler pushes up as well. White flag here of stage. White flag in the air for stage number 1. Stage points on the line for several of these guys. It would be huge. Here comes Trudeau. Oh, Thomas is going to go around. And around's going to go Don Francisco, T-boning him. Caution is out, and that is going to end stage 1 as Andrew Bolander is going to be credited with the stage win here at Atlanta. The 5 of Christopher Thomas gets turned around in this one. Let's back it up and see what exactly happened to the 5. Oh, he just gets loose right there all by himself. And then just as he saves it, but oh man. Not the corner you want to push on, JD. Not the corner you want to push on. In super speedway racing, you never want to push on that left corner. Just barely nudges the 5. And at Don Francisco, we talked about it. Here at Atlanta, just nowhere to go to try to avoid them. Let's jump inside the cockpit of that number 48. Oh. He could have went high. He could have went lower. And Don Francisco chose to go through the middle right where that 5 ended up being. Just another product of super speedway racing right there, folks. You've got a choice to make on where you think that truck spinning in front of you is going to go. Well, Don Francisco, unfortunately, did not make the right one there, folks. But we're going to step away for a quick break in this one. Don't go anywhere, folks, because it has been some fantastic racing here tonight, and it is only going to get better. The stage racing is over. Now, these guys are racing to the checkered flag.
On a drug, you got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. I could look at you all day, watch the way them hips sway. Love your body, so I pray, don't you dare take it away. Can't control what I say, lost my mind cause your frame. Hey girl, what's your name? Lit me up just like a flame. Body in motion, I feel the commotion, beyond you like lotion. I'm honest and broken, I flow like the ocean. I feel you were chosen to fix me, I'm broken. My heart that you stolen, hey. Stay with me, play with me, lay with me. Hate to see when you leave, chemistry feels like it's destiny. I just want you laying next to me, and I really don't want you to ever leave. On your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb.
Just tell me where you wanna go. Let me take you there. You see, I've been around the globe. I've seen a lot, but
All right, folks, welcome back here to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we are about to go racing here in the second stage. The racing has been fantastic tonight, and these drivers, the stage is done. The points have been handed out, and now that stage win is on the line here in this one. Chandler and Tucker getting ready to lead the field back to the green flag, this time after your stage break. 2 cautions for incidents on the track, and your 1 caution for the stage break. The pace truck hooking that hard left back onto pit road, and we are going racing here again in Atlanta. Green flag in the air. Big stack up from the 12 on back on that inside line. He did not get a good launch. Steve Bocock did not get a good launch, and that stacked up Alberto Abar, Vernon Broadbeck, and everybody behind him. Chandler got himself a fantastic launch. Matt Tucker able to drop in behind him. Here comes Bolander looking to the outside. He's going to jump up in front of Babcock. They're going to immediately go back to 2 wide on that high line. Your stage winner, Andrew Bolander, wasting no time trying to get back to the front of the field here in this one. Out of turn number 2, he is going to rock it to the front, but Chandler says, not quite yet, buddy. He's going to lead the way back to lap 55. Chandler has Tucker right behind him in that 25, and then Bocock right behind Tucker. Bolander is no help for a couple car lengths. Chandler's dropping out of this one. Does not like what he was seeing up front, decides to drop out. Drop into the back is Chandler. Typical super speedway racing right there. Do not blame Chandler one bit. Drop back, did not like the way that the energy felt out front. Felt like it was getting a little too aggressive here for just over the halfway point in this one. We have just crossed the halfway point. Didn't like the way they were racing. Babcock with a save out of 2. But Chandler dropping back out. Don't blame that number 1 driver one bit. Back out. Live to see another day. Babcock with another big save through turns 3 and 4. That 34 truck, now he's going to go around. We stay green. Single car spin through the grass. We stay green. Nicholas Trudeau is going to take the lead out front as a result. Bolander all by himself on that high line. Now here comes Tucker to his savior. But Nicholas Trudeau is going to get the big run through 3 and 4. That 89 is going to lead his first lap of the race. Now here comes Bolander with the help from Tucker. Tucker and Stephen Henning. We talked about Henning and the fantastic season he is having so far. Fantastic run by that 27 truck. Now looking to back it up with another great performance here at Atlanta. Bolander, no help from Tucker now. Tucker falling back.
All right, man.
Caution is out.
Caution is out.
Waiting for it to pop up. Jimmy Emos is going to bring out your 4th caution of the night in that number 98 Chevy Silverado. Let's back it up here and see what happens. Ooh. Just gets hooked by the 5 of Christopher Thomas. It all stacked up there in front of Emos coming out of the trial. Well, let's see if we can't figure out what exactly that stack up was for here. Right there. A little bit of a stack up. Doesn't... Oh. Christopher Thomas just not square with the push. Right there. Lifts the rear of the 98 and right around he goes. Let's jump inside the cockpit of that 98 here. Let's see what exactly... I don't think the stack up really had a whole lot to deal with this one. Let's watch his RPMs. Yeah, he lifts right... Yep, he lifts, and Christopher Thomas... Jimmy also never really got back to the gas after that. Right there, it all stacks up. Jimmy never gets back to the gas like Christopher Thomas probably expected him to. His RPMs never picked back up. So definitely not the way Jimmy most wanted his race to go down. He definitely was having a pretty strong run for sure, and just not the way that number 98 wanted this race to end for him. But you heard his engine blow, which means he is going to have to get towed to pit road, and that is going to put Jimmy Emos a couple laps down in this one. Just over the halfway point in this one, folks. Trudeau, Broadbeck, Bolander, Bocock, and Tucker make up your top 5 with Abar, Duncan, Bloodworth, Henning, and Tulloch rounding out your top 10. The lights are going to go off on that pace truck this time, folks. The field is going to be doubling up here, and we are getting ready to go back racing here at Atlanta. Just over the halfway point, the racing has been fantastic. Exactly what you expect here at a super speedway. A lot of bump drafting and a lot of hard, close racing. Exactly what you expect here at a track like Atlanta. And you can see Trudeau electing that outside line here in the choose cone rule. The choose cone rule only applies to the leader here in NEXXTCAR. Unlike NASCAR, where they allow the whole field to pick and choose where they want to start, which line. In NEXXTCAR, we only allow the leader to decide that. And Trudeau picking that outside line. Little interesting there. It's the first time we've really seen the leader pick that outside line. So he must like who he sees behind him, and he must like what he has seen out of that outside line. But the pace truck is going to hook that hard left back down onto pit lane here as soon as they get out of turn number 4, and the control of the field in the 89's hand as they are heading into the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway here in Atlanta. Trudeau with a great launch. Bocock all alone on that outside line. No help. A-bar about 6 truck lengths back. No help for the 12. Can he drop down in that hole? Duncan's not going to let him. Now does A-Bar let him drop down in that hole? Now Tucker goes to the outside with Bolander, but Duncan does as well. Barely clear the 12 to make that move. Now, Bolander with the big push from Tucker into 25, Duncan behind him. Here comes Trudeau right back. He's got Broadbeck behind him. Now here comes Steve Bocock and A-Bar to assist. Peyton all alone on that outside line way back. Don Francisco several truck lengths back. Now heading, looking to the inside of Tulloch. Tulloch with a big run through turns 3 and 4. That's going to get him. Now ADR all lined up bumper to bumper, all 4 trucks, the 12, 13, 17, and 51. But out front, it's Trudeau and Bolander battling here in this one. 3 trucks on the outside line holding their own against that inside line. You can see how squirrely that 25 is all over the back bumper of the 8. Now Trudeau coming right back on that inside line with a big push from the 4 of Broadbeck. Broadbeck trying to push the 89. He's going to give him a big shot heading into the tri-oval. But Tucker comes right back and gives the 8 another big shot into turn number 1. Dead even through turns 1 and 2. The second half of the outside line has caught back up. Now, could Babcock get up there? Babcock's going to drop to the inside line. Bolander's going to clear that inside line, but Trudeau comes right back at him. Tucker's going to fall off the back bumper. Bolander now with the big momentum. That 25 is going to try to get to the back bumper of the 8, but it's not going to be enough as Trudeau's going to lead him back to the line this time. Now, here comes A-Bar trying to close that gap to the 12. That outside line starting to fall apart a little bit. Lap traffic about half a straightaway ahead of Jimmy Emos, the 98. How does lap traffic navigate? Or I'm sorry, how did the leaders? Oh, the 4 Broadbeck almost going to hook Trudeau going underneath the red line. That red line we do treat like the yellow line at Daytona and Talladega. You are not permitted to go down there to advance your position. You're not permitted to go down there for anything besides to miss wrecks. And, well, that Ford just about made a mistake. Now, how do the leaders navigate the lap traffic of Jimmy Emos? Trudeau goes up. Emos down underneath the red line, getting well out of the way. And there's another exception to that red line rule. Great heads-up sportsmanship move by Jimmy Emos. Good job, buddy. Fantastic job on Emos to get out of the way. Don't even, risk stacking up the field or anything. Now, Steve Bocock jumps up to the outside line. He's going to lead the charge on that outside line, leaving his teammates A-Bar and Tulloch and then Bloodworth right behind Duncan. But now here comes Steve Bocock, almost leaving the middle open for the 8 of Bolander. Bolander decides not to do anything with it. He's going to get to the back bumper of the 12. He's going to try and push him back up there with the leader. Big run out of turn number 2 for that outside line. Chandler trying to work his way in a 3-wide situation on that high line, but it's not going to be enough. Now, here comes A-Bar trying to work his way to the back bumper. Broadbeck in third. I'm sorry, in the third truck on that inside line. Now, Tulloch all over the back bumper to 13, almost in a 3-wide situation out of trouble. I thought Duncan was going to stick his nose underneath them. I don't know about you folks, but with as good of a job as these drivers are doing, what do you guys say we do a little NEXXTCAR it up? Let's turn the truck volume up and let's hear these 22 NEXXTCAR Truck Series drivers make their way around this 1.5-mile track of Atlanta Motor Speedway. You saw the 88 of Jonathan Duncan with a big save, but he ended up going around. Not going to bring out a caution, but man, another heads-up save by a lot of these guys. Add that one to the list. But man, nothing better than 22 NEXXTCAR trucks making their way around a super speedway, especially a 1.5 mile super speedway at that. Vernon Broadbeck, Nicholas Trudeau jumped to the outside line. Vernon Broadbeck wasted no time getting to his inside and challenging for the lead. Now getting back to him here through turns 1 and 2. Abar's going to fall back a little bit, but that is going to allow Trudeau to drop back down inside that, or into that inside line. Back up to the outside line to block Bolander. Trudeau trying to play both lines here, trying to block both. Broadbeck gets to his inside. Big save, big push by the 13. Folks, if this does not entertain you, then I don't know what will when it comes to super speedway iRacing racing. This is as good as it gets right here. 80 laps in, 30 laps to go in this. Whoa, big save by Trudeau. Is he going to save it up the track? He goes into the outside wall. Everybody's going to avoid him, but Trudeau, maybe the run that he needed, falling out of his hands. We stay green. The 89 falling back and falling fast. Add that to the list of saves. I know we got into the outside wall, but folks, that could have been bigger than it was. Unbelievable job by not only Trudeau to not bounce it off the wall and come back down in front of the field, but fantastic job by Bolander, Tucker, and the rest of that outside line to not go with them. You have seen just how loose these trucks are, folks. Let's pull up your weather and see why. You see it right there, 136 degree track temperature. That is why these trucks are slipping and sliding like they are. This is the hardest we have seen a track all season long, and it just happens to be on a super speedway, folks. These drivers have got their hands full in this one. 136 degree track temperature. These trucks are slipping and sliding everywhere. Unbelievable. This is the hardest temperature we have seen all season long. I can't believe 136 degrees. That is insane. And that is why these drivers have got their hands full in this one. But you see it out front, folks. If I am not mistaken, that is Jonathan Duncan right in front of your leaders, and it is. 3 races in a row. The streak on the verge of ending. Coming to 25 laps to go in this one. Bolander with a big push from Tucker. He's going to clear that inside line. But here comes Broadbeck right back at him. Now, if you're Broadbeck, how careful are you in these corners? You have seen the leader of that inside line several times today get loose, whether he's being pushed or not. Now, if you're Broadbeck, you're in that position. How careful do you get? Abar having a fantastic run. Exactly what he needs. He came into tonight's race +1 above that cutoff line, battling that truck behind him, the third truck in that inside line. Steve Bocock came into this race -1 position. Both drivers have worked together all night long. They have been bumper to bumper. But now, the rules reversed. How aggressive does Abar get? How aggressive does Bocock get? Well, they got 25 laps to settle it here. Big pushes by Tucker into 25, but they're closing in on lap traffic. You saw Emos get way out of the way the last time. What does Duncan do? He's going to pay the same respect. Duncan goes down a lap here late at Atlanta. Oh, Broadbeck! He's going to get loose in front of Abar! He's going to save it. Another fantastic save! Oh, man. Just keep adding it to the list. The list keeps getting longer and longer, but Broadbeck from the lead back to 12th. But not out of this one yet, now 13th. Now, Bolander and Tucker have cleared the field by half a second. Abar now leading the pack. Back to him. Can they run back down near 2 leaders? And when they do, what kind of a run will the ADR team get? Jim Emos just in front of your leaders. ADR bumper to bumper, 3 of your trucks. The 13, the 12, and the 17. The 17 of Paint to Luck. He's got to win this season at Pocono in the Truck Series. Now, looking to help his teammates fight their way into the playoffs. Emos, where does he go for your leaders? Out of turn number 2, he's going to drop it underneath the red. Once again, great sportsmanship by Emos. Abar clears himself. Emos back up the track. Do not blame Emos one bit for coming back up the track. If you try to stay down on that apron through the corner, you are going to wreck yourself. But now, staying up in front of the leaders. Now, staying in front of Abar. This has allowed the front 2 runners to pull away a little bit. Is Emos maybe playing devil's advocate here? The 98 is actually helping Abar and the rest of the field run down your front 2 runners. Now, under half a second between Abar and your front 2 leaders. But here comes the rest of the field. Emos mixing it up with the leaders. 5 laps down. Now he drops out of the way. Thinks he's done his job. But now, here comes that outside line being led by Austin Walton in his debut race, trying to work his way back up. 20 laps to go, 19 to go this time, folks. Bolander, he's got his win this season. He won at Las Vegas. Tucker, looking for that first win this season. Abar, Bocock, still looking for that elusive first win. Walton, Austin Walton, even if he wins tonight, he is not eligible for the playoffs. He has not made the requirements to make the playoffs. You must start 7 races in the regular season to make the playoffs. This is his first race with just 3 to go in the playoffs. So that number 3 is not eligible for the playoffs, but still out here running, trying to get that number 3 to victory lane. But it's all Bolander and Tuck out front, but Abar slowly but surely in that 13 Toyota trying to run them down. Here comes Steve Bocock with a big run. Big push by the 17. That's going to get the field back together. 17 to go this time, folks. You got to have the feeling that something's a-brewing here in Atlanta. We have yet to have that big crash, the big one. The one that is so well known when it comes to super speedway racing. Are we going to have it tonight? Or is this race going to continue its fantastic run here tonight? Abar still trying to run down your leaders. The draft not really strong enough to help him, but he's going to get a big run down that backstretch. He's now just a quarter of a second behind. Abar needs help from that 12. 16 to go. You can win from anywhere in the field as Robert Babcock's going to drop down in between the 12 and the 13. Now splitting up that ADR team. That's going to leave Austin Walton all by himself on that high line until the 94 Christopher Pendel can get to him. Or, I'm sorry, the 48 of David Smith. Pendel's behind him. Several guys coming to pit road. We are seeing green flag pit stops, folks. Oh, Tucker. Oh, Steve Bocock's around. Cole Larson's around as well. Major implications for Stephen Bocock coming to pit road. Oh, caution's going to be out on the pit road. And we still got more carnage down pit road. The 13 of A-bar is going to get spun. Just like Charlotte 2 weeks ago, pit road is going to play a factor in this one. Where do we begin here in this one? Let's back it up. Let's watch the first truck that spun it onto pit road, Steve Bocock. You saw Matt Tucker. Whoa. Tulloch's going to get ran over from behind. That's how Tucker got messed up. All right, hold on. Let's back it up here. Hold on. Peyton's on the ball. Oh, he hit the thing right there. What is Peyton doing? I do not fault Erickson in that one at all. Steve could have gotten lower right there, but I don't know. That's a hard one to call if you're Erickson. But right around goes Steve Bocock, Cole Larson around as well. Now, let's jump to A-bar and see how he gets spun halfway down pit road. Coming to his box, he doesn't realize Babcock's there and goes right across the nose of Babcock. Man, several trucks, heavy damage in this one coming to pit road. Wow. I don't know what to say, folks. That is going to shape up everything in this one. But, folks, we're going to step away. We're going to be right back to bring you more of the action here at Atlanta. It's going to be a great finish. Are we in for another NEXXTCAR fantastic finish? Don't go anywhere. You are not going to want to miss it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion. Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop it, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, let's go. I don't care what they all say. That's right, I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay, we work hard, then we all play.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we are suiting up for what could be another fantastic NEXXTCAR finish. We are going back racing with 11 laps to go in regulation here at Atlanta. The front looks completely different after those pit stops. Smith and Walton make up row number 1 with Don Francisco, Pendel in row number 2, Thomas and Bloodworth in row number 3. But we are going back racing with 11 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Smith gets a good launch, but so does Austin Walton in that outside line. The 94 not quite going to be able to clear the 3. Now he will, heading down into turn number 1. Here comes Don Francisco. 2 by 2 out front. Here comes Bloodworth with Thomas. Where does Bloodworth go? He's going to get a big run down the backstretch. Decides to stay low. Now Thomas goes up top to block Tucker. Tucker now shoving to 5 through turns 3 and 4. 10 laps to go, folks. It's all on from here. Tucker drops to the bottom behind J.D. Larson. Side by side through turns 3 and 4 here in this one. Oh, Don Francisco's going to push up a little bit. They're going to all keep it going straight. He's going to push up again out of 4. They're going to keep it going straight side by side, dead even at the line. David Smith looking for that first win of the season as well. Dustin Bloodworth in the 51 looking for that first win as well. Abar bouncing back and forth from lane to lane. He's up to 11th. You saw Steve Bocock all the way down in the 18th position, 1 lap down. Definitely not the race that he wanted this one to go. Tucker 1 lap down as well. Bocock's going to get loose. Saves it. The pushes are getting bigger here in Atlanta as the laps are winding down. Now David Smith clears that outside line. Tucker throws a big block. Tucker throws a huge block on Jonathan Duncan heading into 3. Oh, J.D. Larson, save it. Saves it. 3 wide out back. They're not going to save it. Alberto Abar's going to go around. The 13, the last couple of laps have not gone the way that Alberto has needed them to. Heartbreak for the 13. That all started when J.D. Larson got sideways, stacked up everything behind him. Stacks up everything behind him. Looks like Bolander checks up, but Paint to Luck does not. Let's slow it down here a little bit. Right there, you can see the flames. Well, he is lifting. I'll give Peyton that. He is lifting. You saw the flames out of the 17. But just drills the back of the 8, not lined up, and right down the track he goes. And then the 1 and the 12 make a little bit of contact right there as well. But A-bar right around in that 13 truck. Erickson involved as well. Henning able to miss it. Man. But there it is, folks. You can see it. The 13, the 12, 28, all coming to pit road here in this one. Definitely not how either of those guys wanted this race to go. 5 laps to go in this one, folks. David Smith, this field has been completely flipped over after that pit cycle with the caution coming out. Smith, Walton, Don Francisco, Pendell, Bloodworth make up your top 5. Thomas, Larson, Duncan, Tulloch, and Babcock round out your top 10. Your pool sitter, Cedric Ingram, back in 11th with Henning in 12th. Nicholas Trudeau, he's worked his way back up to 13th. Alberto Abar in 14th. Matt Tucker getting his lap back up into 15th. Matt Erickson in 16th, leaving pit road now. David Chandler 1 lap down in 17th with Andrew Bolander, Vernon Broadbeck, Cole Larson rounding out your top 20. And then Steve Bocock not going to have the night that he wanted here. 1 lap down in that 21st position with Jimmy Mos rounding the field out 6 laps down. That pit cycle has just handed the lead to David Smith. Can he hold on to it? This is not a green-white checker finish, folks. This is still in regulation. 5 laps to go. It's going to be 3 to go when we go back racing. The field should be doubling up this time, and they are. 3 laps to go when the green flag drops. I say again, this is not NEXXTCAR overtime. This is regulation racing, and we are going to go back racing with 3 laps to go. If you thought the racing was intense up to now, folks, well, you better strap down them TVs because they are going to go for a wild ride here at 180 mile an hour around this 1.5 mile track of Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's been a fantastic race up to this point. These drivers have done a fantastic job. I have no doubt that they are going to cap it off with a fantastic finish here in this one. But let's not forget, this is super speedway racing, and anything can happen. Anyone can win. Nowhere is safe, and no one is safe. The pace truck getting ready to hook that hard left down onto pit road. That is going to hand the control of the field over to David Smith's hands. 3 laps to go with the drop of the green flag. Are we done or are we going NEXXTCAR overtime racing? Green flag is in here. David Smith spin the tires. That's going to stack everything up. Don Francisco wasting no time. 3 wide through the middle. Bloodworth decides to follow him. No, he's going to go to the bottom. David Smith down on the apron. He's going to keep it down out of the field. Austin Walt stuck 3 wide. He's going to force Don Francisco low. Nobody goes with the 3. Don Francisco 3 wide into turn number 3. Don Francisco and Pendell. Pendell leading the outside line. Don Francisco leading the inside line. Cleared that outside line. 2 laps to go here in Atlanta, folks. 2 to go. Christopher Thomas, how aggressive does he get in that 5? He needs a win. He wants a win as well. Now, here comes Jonathan Duncan. 3 races in a row. Can he keep the streak going in the 8? He was just a lap down not too long ago. He's back in it. Through turns 3 and 4, looking for the white flag. Nicholas Don Francisco. He is looking for his first win. Can he get it? White flag in the air presented by HVAC Designs here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dustin Bloodworth all over the back bumper of the 24. Down through turns 1 and 2 for the final time tonight. Lap traffic ahead. Not going to play a factor. 3 wide out back. But it's going to be Don Francisco leading the field for the final time. Oh, the 51's going to get turned into the outside wall. Paytalk's going to take out the field. They're all going to stack up behind. But it's going to be Nicholas Don Francisco getting it done in Atlanta. And a hard crash out back. Up and over goes the 28 of Matthew Erickson. Matthew Erickson, unofficially, upside down, is going to finish in the 3rd position. As Nicholas Don Francisco is going to get his first win of the season, and he's going to lock himself into the Season 4 Truck Series playoffs. What a finish. If that, I know there's probably going to be some upset drivers, but folks, that is just a product of super speedway racing right there. The pushes are insane. Well, that is going to lead to about 98% of the field being wrecked here coming to the checkered flag. Don Francisco's going to burn it down here in Atlanta. Let's check out your race results for tonight. Nicholas Don Francisco with a fantastic run, going to get his win of the season. Stephen Henning, exactly what the Canadian wanted. He's going to get second with Matthew Erickson upside down in third. Alberto Abar, exactly what he ordered as well. Not going to be the traditional fourth place finish, but he'll take it either way, with Cedric Ingram backing up that Charlotte run with another top 5. Nicholas Trudeau in 6th, J.D. Larson in 7th, Jonathan Duncan 8th, Austin Walton 9th, Dustin Bloodworth rounding out your top 10. Matt Tucker in 11th with Christopher Pendell in 12th, Peyton Tullock in 13th, Robert Babcock 14th, Christopher Thomas 15th, David Smith in 16th, Stephen Bocock, major heartbreak with that pit road incident, gonna bring home 17th, with David Chandler gonna bring home 18th. With 19th going to Cole Larson, 20th Vernon Broadbeck, 21st Andrew Bolander, with 22nd going to Jimmy Emos. Well, don't worry, folks. We are going back to that checkered flag. Do not worry. We are going to go back and watch that big crash. We're going to see exactly what happened before we go do post-race interviews. Don't worry. We are going back to dissect exactly what happened, because that was insane. Once we get done looking at Don Francisco's burnout here, there we go. All right. So, you got the 51 right there coming back up the track after getting bumped. And then, oh, here we go. Beautiful shot right here out of 4. Tullock just coming back up the track, up and over is Duncan. Oh, beautiful shot of all the carnage. Oh, man. And up and over. We're going to back it up here. We're going to ride along with Erickson and figure out just how did that 28 get up on his roof here. How does he end up on his roof? Let's jump inside the cockpit here. There's the 51 up into the wall. There's the 88 up on the wall. Oh, just gets sandwiched. All right, so how does he end up on it? Oh, just gets ran over from behind. Oh, man. Well, Erickson, you are going to unofficially finish third upside down on your roof. One more time at the wreck. We're going to jump to the blimp camera real quick before we go do our post-race interviews, because we have never had a crash like this before in the history of NEXXTCAR. Just absolute chaos. Oh, Cedric Ingram was upside down too. Several trucks flipping in this one. Wow. What a finish. If that doesn't excite you folks, then I don't know what will. But folks, don't go anywhere, because we have got post-race interviews coming up next from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We will be right back.
I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion. Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. I don't care what I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah. I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man. Yeah. One day it all will be fine, man. Let's go. Gotta commit to the climb. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track. In addiction to the fact that we're winning, still we lack something's missing. Need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions.
Oh, yeah.
If you ask, that's the mission. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah. Ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can drop you, bro. Yeah. I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Girl, you got me shook from the way your body looks. Got me riding hooks, got me feeling like a rook. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy like a cook, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just let me feel. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't have regrets, I know what's next. She need a fresh, I'll be back in a sec. Look at them legs, don't make me beg. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. I could look at you all day, watch the way them hips sway. Love your body, so I pray, don't you dare take it away. Can't control what I say, lost my mind cause your frame. Hey girl, what's your name? Lit me up just like a flame. Body in motion, I feel the commotion, beyond you like lotion. I'm honest and broken, I flow like the ocean. I feel you were chosen to fix me, I'm broken. My heart that you stolen, hey. Stay with me, play with me, lay with me. Hate to see when you leave, chemistry feels like it's destiny. I just want you laying next to me, and I really don't want you to touch me. On your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night, got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, hear them scream, okay, it's a dream. And I pray as a team, one day it'll be me. If I want it, it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. I swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it all. You got one life to ball. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it all. Need a handout, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to expand now. You don't have a chance now, cause we're in demand now. Make it by the grand now, feeling in command now. They're looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes, but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone. It's so cold outside.
Cockpit, you know what I'm saying?
All right, folks, don't mean to keep y'all waiting, but the finish is officially under review right now. So as soon as we find out who your true winner is, we will bring you the breaking news on whether it's Don Francisco or somebody else in the field. So as soon as the rest of us figure out exactly who the winner is, we will get it to you here. So stay patient, and we will be right here to bring you the breaking news on who your winner is out of Atlanta. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back here in this one.
Try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop it, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, let's go. I don't care what they all say. That's right, I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay, we work hard, then we all play. Yeah, I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right, so I refuse to waste time, man. Yeah, one day it all will be fine, man. Let's go. Gotta commit to the climb. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track. In addiction to the fact that we're winning, still we lack something's missing. Need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions.
Oh, yeah.
If you ask, that's a mission. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop it, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.
All right, folks, welcome back here to your very interesting post-race interviews from a fantastic Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, it took some looking into, but after it's all said and done, that number 24 of Nicholas Don Francisco is heading to victory lane tonight. Nicholas Don Francisco, you are going to get your second Truck Series win ever in NEXXTCAR.
Yeah, man. Didn't have the greatest start of the race, but we managed. We were there in the end when it mattered. So
Absolutely, man. You know, you had a very, very interesting race tonight. You know, you started 19th, obviously getting the win, but it was not as simple as that.
no, beginning was rough, not gonna lie. And then somehow I managed to keep the truck clean after that first wreck with Thomas, and then everything else just fell into place there at the end.
For sure. So now you've locked yourself into the Season 4 Truck Series playoffs. You got 2 more races this season, next week at Iowa, and then to close out the regular season at Michigan. How do you feel about these upcoming races, and what is your game plan heading in now that you're locked in?
Well, I'm still going for the win no matter what. So if I can just keep on trucking and keep getting those wins, that'd be nice to have those extra playoff points heading into the playoffs.
Absolutely, buddy. Every point matters, and it's going to be the same throughout the playoffs. So congrats on your first win of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Moving on to your second place finisher, Steven Henning. Dude, what a race you had tonight.
I don't even know how I'm sitting here and podium here, Ronnie. To be honest with you, at that end there when they wrecked, I thought I was going to be involved in it.
Absolutely, man. You had a very strong number 27 tonight. You know, we saw you battling for those stage points at the end of the stage. And then, like you said, you know, you found yourself a little ways probably back than you wanted to be. But at that checkered flag and that big crash, you came home in second.
Yeah, it was a very good points day all around, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, just got to thank everybody on this truck this weekend and next weekend for breast cancer awareness. Got to thank my grandma coming on board for being a survivor, and just all the men and women out there that have breast cancer.
Absolutely, buddy. You came into tonight's race plus 17 above that cutoff line to make the playoffs. You know, obviously the second place is going to help you a lot tonight, but what is your game plan heading into the last 2 races of the season?
Just try and play the points game as well as I can.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely got those points tonight, and that is going to help you out in the long run. So congrats on that second place finish.
Thank you, Ronnie, and congrats to the winner.
Yes, sir. Moving on to your third place finisher, unofficially finishing the race upside down, is Matthew Erickson. You had yourself a very eventful race tonight, too.
Yeah, I got bounced around quite a bit, moved up to the front, came to the back. Got in some incidents, but we kept the truck clean for the most part. And I don't know, I just kept it on the floor through that last turn 3 and 4 when everybody's up against the wall, and somehow came across the line backwards in third and then ended up on my roof. But I'll take it.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a crazy crash coming to the checkered flag. You know, you said you just held the gas pedal down and hoped for the best, and well, you definitely got the best end of the spectrum on that one.
Yeah, I think we looked at it, I think I was in 12th or 13th coming into turn 3, and somehow came across the line in third. So we'll take it. It's a good points day for us and for HVAC Motorsports. So we'll head to Iowa with a lot of momentum going.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats on that third place finish.
Thank you.
Man, Alberto Abar, I did not think I'd be talking to you at the end of this one tonight. You had yourself a very eventful race in this one.
Yeah, it was a bunch of events going on in front of me. But it was a pit strategy, and position was key on this one. So at least I got a 4th in this one.
Absolutely, man. You came into tonight's race with a 1-point battle between you and your teammate Bocock. Obviously, Bocock did not get the finish he wanted tonight. This is going to help you out in the playoffs. What is your game plan heading into the final 2 races? 2 very different tracks, short track racing at Iowa, and then basically super speedway racing in the trucks at Michigan.
Yeah, I just gotta keep the truck clean, stay out of the way of bad people like to crash and everything. So I know who they are, and just keep it clean. I know if I could keep it clean, I could get a place on this track coming up. But anybody knows.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats on that top 5 tonight. Your 5th place finisher, Cedric Ingram, is not in here. No, he is not. So moving on to your 6th place finisher, Nicholas Trudeau. Man, you had a pretty strong number 89 truck tonight, but a couple of things did not go your way. But towards the end, that big wreck definitely helped you out.
Yeah, thank God for that wreck at the end. I kind of knew it was going to happen. Um, and I wish it happened a little earlier for the previous caution to get us up there and get more track position. But yeah, we led some laps and we had a fast car or a fast truck, and we were up front for a bit. Bounced off the wall a few times and just tried to stay out of trouble most of the race. But no, top 10 finish is a good finish for this type of racing, so I'll take it.
For sure. You came into tonight's race 75 points above that cutoff line, sitting pretty comfortably. You got to feel just a little more comfortable after tonight's race.
Yeah, I'm comfortable where we're at. It's just, we got to get in that win column now, and we've been running really good all season. But the last few races, I think some stuff has happened, and we haven't had the best finish. But definitely, we have top 5 cars and trucks in both series, and we should be finishing up front. So, this is what we needed to get on the right foot, and hopefully turn some stuff around before the playoffs and get hot before then.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on that 6th place finish.
Thanks, Ron.
Moving on to 7th place, JD Larson. The last time we were here at Atlanta back in season 2, you were about 150 feet short of getting your first win ever in NEXXTCAR. Tonight, you backed it up with another strong 7th place finish.
Yeah, we were glad we finished on a lead lap. That last caution, we were coming down for green flag pit stop, and caution come out right as we were headed down pit road. So we ended up staying out. And we went back around, got the wave around, and then we dropped down for fuel and tires to finish this thing off, and going with P7. So definitely can't be disappointed. We started in mid pack. We were in the back of the field. A little bit of the race, we were working our way back up, working our way towards the front of the field, and mixing back and forth throughout the race. So, all in all, it was a good night. Our teammate Don Francisco, he got the race win, which is awesome. I think that puts HVAC Motorsports back on top, which is great. And then we got 3rd there for Erickson, and then P7 myself. So, all in all, going into Iowa, it's looking good for us.
Absolutely, man. How were you able to bounce back from that early incident where you got up into the outside wall and fell all the way back? How were you able to rebound from that up to 7th?
Yeah, I kind of like that high line here at Atlanta. I don't know what it is, but then when you get close to that wall, it just sucks you right up there. And once you get on that wall, it's hard to get back off. So, I just managed to be able to hold it together and work our way back up. And I ended up having to use a fast repair there also. We got collected with Thomas, and we got in a few incidents that we had to rebound from, but we met our way back up there, and we finished P7. So, we're working towards the playoffs here, and that's right upon us. So we are in line for the playoffs. See if we can keep it going.
Absolutely. You mentioned that playoffs. We are in a strong battle right now with your son, Cole, and this finish tonight will definitely help you out in that aspect. So congrats on that 7th place finish.
Yep, thank you, Ronnie. And 18 DSR Sick Racing, HVAC Motorsports. We get ready to go for Iowa next week, and see what we can do there.
Yes, sir. Your 8th and 9th finishers are not in here, so moving on to your 10th place finisher, Dustin Bloodworth. Man, you had that 51 truck wheeling dealing tonight.
Yeah, these super speedway pieces are shoots. Can't help but feel a little disappointed going into 3 and 4. in second. What? I don't know if it, the 88 shoved me and it put me into the back of the 24 going into 3 there, and that got me out of shape, and that was the end of that. So, it's a shame. It's third top 10 in a row. Of course, going in the playoffs, but I'd like to finish one of these off. We've had a shot at a couple of them so far this year. Just ain't pulled anything out yet.
Yeah, absolutely. You came into tonight's race plus 27 above that cutoff line, just behind Robert Babcock, who finished a couple positions behind you. So this is going to help you in that aspect. But Iowa and Michigan coming up to end the regular season. How do you feel about those two?
I like Iowa. I feel like Iowa should have a good shot at it. And then, Michigan's going to race a lot like this did, so it'll be kind of a crapshoot. So, I think the key is going to be collect points at Iowa to where we're in a good shape and don't have to worry about trying to point our way in at Michigan.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats on that third top 10 in a row.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. But that is going to conclude your post-race interviews from Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. What a race these drivers put on. There is absolutely no doubt about it. All race long, these drivers were challenged with 130-degree track temperature. Those trucks were slipping and sliding everywhere, but they rose to the challenge and provided us with some great racing. Tomorrow night, the Next Gen Cup cars, well, they take battle at Talladega tomorrow night for 120 laps, so it's going to be another good one. I have absolutely no doubt about it. But these Truck Series drivers, 2 more races left in the regular season. Next week's Iowa, and then the week after that is Michigan, and then we will officially have your 16 drivers going to battle for that championship trophy down in Homestead. But that is going to do it for this one here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Fantastic race. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hope to see you guys tomorrow night when the Next Gen go to battle at Talladega. If we don't, well, enjoy the rest of your week. God bless, and good night.